Hey Floss Tube, this is Brian. Welcome back. This is my 76th Floss Tube video, and I'm excited to share with you what I've been working on this week. But first of all, I want to welcome you. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I hope that you enjoy the things that I have to share with you. And if you haven't subscribed, feel free to subscribe so that you can get notifications of when I post my next videos. If you're returning, thank you for coming back and spending time with me and watching my videos. I really appreciate it. It's been a great week, good week work-wise. Things are kind of starting to warm up a little bit around here. This morning, my wife and I went down to help clean the church. We take turns doing that, and so I've spent about an hour vacuuming and cleaning the glass on the doors to get all the fingerprints off. So we've done that, and now I'm ready to start filming. I'm hoping that I can finish before if you've noticed, there's a light that comes back down here when the sun gets high enough. So I'm hoping that I can finish before that light shows up. Thank you for all of your comments. I really appreciate hearing from you, and thank you for all of your questions and for all of your encouragement. I just want to respond to a couple of comments that I've received in the last week. So first of all, Beth Woods asked me about my English garden sampler. I mentioned last week that there was cut work in it, and she asked me where the cut work is. So I'm going to pull this back out so I can show you where the cut work is. So this of course is English Garden Sampler. It's what I stitched last week. And if you see this blank area down here all around the border, that is where the cut work is. So when the time comes like this, I'll be cutting the vertical threads out of this location, and then there's some way to not, I think it's like 4 threads together all the way down, so you get kind of a lacy effect through here. Of course, on these I'll be cutting out the horizontal threads and doing the same thing. So there will be kind of a lacy opening all the way around the piece. So one more look at it to see what it looks like. So yeah, that's where the cut work will be. That's the part that I am least comfortable with. So we'll see how that goes when the time comes. It'll probably be the last thing I do. Either the beads or the cut work. I haven't decided yet. Leah asked me if in the book that I am giving away, Pillow Talk, that I'll talk about a little bit later, she asked me if there were any cross-stitch designs in it or if it was just all quilting. It's just all quilting, different types of quilting techniques. So I had a couple of people ask me if my wife still stitches, and she doesn't. She lost interest in a few years ago. But she still encourages me and is very supportive of what I do. Sam asked me when I start doing the back stitching and all the specialty stitching for English Garden Sampler, if I would talk about that. So what I think I'll do is, as I work through that, I will kind of show in detail kind of what I'm doing. And we'll see how that goes. So I'll try to remember to do that, Sam. And then Kevin asked me, as a male stitcher, do I have any male friends who think it's an odd hobby? And there are not a lot of guys that I know that I stitch. But this kind of reminds me of a bit of a story. When my father-in-law found out that my wife had taught me how to cross stitch, I think he kind of thought that was a little bit strange. But he kind of turned into one of my fans. He helped me frame a couple of pieces. I actually bought molding at like a local hardware store, and he helped me put a frame together. There was a time when I got this this piece framed in our previous house, we had a fireplace, and we put this picture above the fireplace. And this is kind of complicated, but my brother-in-law's in-laws, his parents-in-law, came and were visiting my wife's parents, and they came over to see our house. We just barely moved into this house, and my father-in-law had done a lot of work to help us make some changes to the house. He was a very he loved to do woodwork, so he's done a bunch of woodworking projects for us. In that house, he built he helped us put in some built-in bookcases, and he was always a great help with me whenever I needed to do something. I learned from him to not be afraid when you start a project, because you'll eventually figure out how to do it. He kind of taught me that. Anyway, he brought them over to see the work that he'd done in the house, and he was kind of showing off what he'd done, and then he pointed to this and said he stitched this, and they looked at me kind of strange. And I kind of got a couple of good looks, and then I got some really good compliments. So there are people who have kind of thought that it was strange that I cross stitch. My brothers, I mean, I don't get any guff from my brothers. I don't know, it might be because I'm the oldest and I'm kind of the one who's in charge. That's kind of a joke, but yeah, I haven't. My family, my immediate family doesn't seem to act like it's very, very strange. Sheila asked me if I quilt in addition to cross stitching. No, I don't. I've kind of been curious about quilting, but I don't think I have the patience for it. I don't have the patience to be able to make sure that I could make everything look good. When it gets to something that's kind of fiddly like that, I get really, really frustrated and just want to get things done, and it never turns out right. So I don't quilt, and I'm kind of interested in it, but I probably won't ever. So anyway, those are the comments. Thank you so much for all of your comments. I have something that I've been meaning to show you for the past couple of weeks, but I just haven't. I keep forgetting. I think I've mentioned in a previous video that my daughter was interested in one of the Lori Holt cross stitch designs. I gave away this chart a while ago. It's Happy Camper, and she really liked it and decided she wanted to stitch it. So she's been working on it, and I've showed it kind of in progress before, but she has finished it. So this is her finish of Happy Camper. It's not completely true to the chart. She made some changes in the colors because she went through all of my old floss and they couldn't find. There were some colors that I didn't have, and so she just did some substitutions. But here it is. It looks really good, doesn't it? Yeah, she did a really good job. And there's that. And look, her back is really nice too. So she did a good job all around. It looks really good, really nice and neat. So yeah, she did a good job. So I thought I'd share that with you. Okay, let's get down to the giveaway that I announced last week. I announced that I was giving away this book, Pillow Talk. It's published by the Fat Quarter Shop, and I showed it last week. It has a whole bunch of different designs that can be made into pillows, along with instructions on how to make a pillow. And as I said, I am giving this away, and I have used the random YouTube comment picker to choose a winner, and the winner is Beth Woods. So Beth, congratulations. Beth is the one who asked me about the Cutwork and English Garden Sampler. Congratulations, Beth. If you want to either PM me on Instagram or send me an email, my email is in the comments below. If you want to send me an email with your address, I will get this sent to you. And I hope that you enjoy. Stitching the pillows that are in here. Okay, so that's all I have. Let's get to what I've been working on this week, and I'm really excited to show you my progress. I have been working on the Modern Folk Embroidery 2018 Stitch Along. It's called 4 Seasons, a Primitive Christmas, 4 Seasons, a Primitive Quaker Year. And yeah, so I'll show you what it looked like last time that you saw it, which was last week. I am stitching this on 35 count Classic Homespun. It's a fabric from R&R, and the floss that I am using is silk. It's from Silks4U PR075, which is a royal blue, a nice deep royal blue. There's a little bit of tonal variegation in it, so a little bit goes dark and light in some places, and you can kind of see that in the design. And like I say, as you can see, last time I was working on summer, and this is what it looks like now. So I really have to back up so that you can see the entire thing. So last week I said that I hoped to work on summer and then stitch this this triangle down here. So I did that, and then I thought, I don't want to finish everything and then have to just stitch the border all the way across. So I also went down and started working on the bottom border. So yeah, I got a lot more done than I expected to finish, and I'm really happy with it. So basically what I stitched most of this plant, and then there's a couple of motifs on the side. I finished the border around here, and then there's this triangle here that I stitched, and then I came down here and did this. So this is the bottom corner of the design. And we're gonna work this way. I'll give you a little bit closer look so that you can see a little bit closer of what I've done. This plant was actually pretty fun to stitch, and I really like this zern down here. I really like the way that looks. And then this triangle was actually pretty quick to stitch. Pretty straightforward. And then I really like this border. I just love these stars, and like there's a variation between them. And then of course there's filler here. So this gives you a good idea of what the border is like. There's like probably four of these points. So I've done one and have 3 more to do, I think. Yeah, it's been really fun. It's nice to stitch with one color. You would think it would be boring, but it's not. It's nice to be able to just stitch. So the next time that I work on this, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to start working on the autumn block and see how much of the autumn block that I can do. So I think I'm going to do the autumn block and then the triangles, and maybe I'll fill in the border as I go. We'll see. But yeah, no, I'm really liking how this is turning out. My spreadsheet says I have about 3.5 weeks left to go on this. So yeah, so I've got a couple more times through my rotation, I think. So you can take a look at this winter and spring blocks also. Yeah, so like I say, I'm really happy with how this is turning out, and I look forward to picking this up again in a couple months. I had somebody say to me on Instagram, I don't know if I could put it down. And yes, right now I want to keep working on it, but I know that halfway through next week, if I do that I'll be sick of it. So I'm gonna change now so that I don't get to that point. And that is a piece I am pretty sure that I'll be able to finish that this year. So I'm looking forward to be able to finish. That's one of my goals, is to finish that this year. So what am I going to work on this week? Well, the time has come to work on my next piece. Is Amid Amish Life. And of course, this is the design that was in the 1987, the first 1987 issues of Cross Stitch and Country Crafts. It's been a really popular piece. It's also available in this book, which is 101 Best Loved Designs from Cross Stitch and Country Crafts. It's available as its own leaflet, and it's also available in the final issue of Cross Stitch and Cross Stitch and Needlework. That was published about 3 years ago. December 2016 is what sticks in my mind. Anyway, it's a set of 3 designs that can be stitched into one piece, depicting life on a farm in Amish country. I am stitching them all together as one piece instead of as 3 separate designs. And I'll show you where I am with it right now. I'm stitching on, I think it's 28 count Wedgewood Lugana. And I am stitching with, no, it's 25 count, now that I remember that, because I am stitching with 3 fabric threads to make sure that I get good coverage because the count is so low. And this is what it looks like right now. So I think, as you can see, the house is getting close to being finished. And we're starting to get over in here. There's a horse and carriage right here. We've got to finish the rest of this chimney and finish the house. So we've found the top of the roof, and now we're working across this way. Yeah, so I think if I stitch what I normally stitch, I'll put in a couple of diagonals. That means that there's a good chance that I will finish this first page of the design. This first page is the first design that's called Hanging the Quilts. And this part of the design is called Visiting the Neighbors. I've got the neighbors already visiting. And now we're going to get the horse and the carriage and more of the house. So I'm hoping to see more of the house, start to see the horse, maybe the carriage as well. So yeah. I'm excited to work on this and see more of this take shape. I'll be glad to, I must confess, I am looking forward to getting over to this other side of the house so that I can see more of the countryside that's in the background. Because that's really my favorite part of the design is this over here. So I'm excited to be able to stitch more of that. So yeah, so we will see how far I get this week on this. And I'm like I say, I'm really looking forward to stitching this. So we'll start working on it tonight. And we'll continue. Okay, I have been really excited to share this next thing with you. I had, as you know, many people have commented that this is a design that is hard to find. And I had a viewer contact me a couple of months ago and say, I have this design from the original magazine with the pages. I cut it out of the magazine to keep it because I was planning on stitching it sometime. And she said, I'm never going to stitch it, and I would like to send it to you so that you can use it for a giveaway to give somebody the opportunity to stitch this design. And I haven't said this, but I have the same thing. I have the magazine pages pulled out of a magazine, and I have debated about whether or not to offer it as a giveaway because I didn't know how many people would want pages torn out of a magazine. But when she said that, I said, well, if she's going to give these to me to give away, I think I'll give away my magazine copies as well. So I have 2 copies of pages taken out of a magazine in sheet protectors that I am offering up for a giveaway to give somebody else the opportunity to stitch this. And I would hope that if you enter in the giveaway that you would be planning on stitching this. So I have 2 of these. And then a month later, she contacted me again. And she said, I've been going through my stash, cleaning things up, and I found a leaflet. And so I'm going to send you the leaflet as well to give away. So I have the opportunity for 3 people to use this design to stitch it. I have 1 leaflet and two magazine pages. So I am offering this for a giveaway. I would hope that if you enter in the giveaway that you are planning to stitch this as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw through 3 names with the random YouTube comment picker. You may get the leaflet or you may get the magazine. So I don't know how to fairly decide who gets what. So I will just draw 3. I will draw for the leaflet first and then for the 2 magazine pages. If you want to be eligible for the drawing, let's use the keyword farm. So if you use the word farm and comment down below, you will be eligible for the drawing, and we will draw next week to see who wins those. I would love to have other people who love this design have the opportunity to stitch it. It is an awesome design, and I know that there are a lot of people out there who would love to stitch it based on some of the comments that I've got. So yeah, let's do that. Anyway, as always, thank you for spending time with me and watching my video. If you want to follow my daily progress and see how far I get with a mid-Amish life, you can follow me on Instagram. I am at blitstitch on Instagram. And if you want to continue to be notified when I post videos so that you can watch them, you can subscribe to my channel. Feel free to like this video, and also comment down below if you have any questions or any comments. I am always happy to respond to any comments or questions that you leave me. I hope that you have a great week and that all goes well for you this week, and we will talk to you later. Goodbye.